Yo, what's going on, guys? I'm going to be showing you how to carry on Lee Sin jungle here in preseason 12 consistently. For your runes, you're going to want Conquer with Triumph, Alacrity, Last Stand, free boots, and Cosmic Insight. For your summoner spells, obviously you're going to need Smite. And for your secondary summoner spell, I would recommend Ignite if the enemy jungler is something that can be tough to fight. I wasn't sure who it was on the enemy team. I figured it was probably Mord. Mord isn't necessarily easy to solo. So if it's like a Mord, a Warwick, a Xin Zhao, a Graves, anything like that, feel free to take the Ignite. It's a lot more useful for 1 versus 1s. The only thing you miss out on is in team fights, you can't do flashy flash R plays. But if you're playing for the late game team fights on Lee Sin, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Lee Sin's team fighting is very inconsistent and it's pretty team reliant. So he's more of an early mid game champion. We're going to be playing around that by running a tight 5 camp clear. In between each spell, especially when we're levels 1 through 2, we're going to make sure to auto twice before we use it again. That way we can get our empowered auto attacks both times. These should burn out from there. Just one more auto. We're going to want to get an auto on each one of these, and then we should be able to kill it with our second E cycle. Now we're going to push over to our Raptors. You just want to start with your bot lane. It doesn't really matter if you start on blue or red buff. Just make sure you get your E at level 2. Your W doesn't actually do any damage, unfortunately. So E level 2 is a lot better. That's how you're able to AoE clear your camps, and it's why Lee Sin doesn't actually need Tiamat like many other junglers like Warwick do. Warwick really needs Tiamat to clear his camps efficiently. Now that you can see we're level 3, we're able to fold away 2 of our empowered auto attacks from our passive without really missing out on anything. We finished our not full clear, but 5 camp clear before 3-minute mark. You should finish it around 2:58 to 3:05. And then you're gonna push out and look to invade the enemy jungler. We should run into Mord on his last camp. Should be able to solo him with the ignite advantage. We're gonna walk into him. Auto attack E. Slow him. Shield myself. Use my empowered autos. I think he's dead because he didn't have his shield there. I think he already burned it on the camp. It's very unfortunate for him. I'll go ahead and take his Gromp. As you notice, as I was fighting him there, I was trying to spread out my abilities a little bit. Also, when you're fighting them, remember that your E has more range than your auto attack, so you can auto attack and then E. But don't use the second part of your E too late, because the second part of your E is a slow. So there we used the second E to slow him down, and it helped to land everything else. He was kind of lined up for the wall and he wasn't expecting me, so that made landing the Q itself pretty easy. We're gonna go for opposite side scuttle. I think we can get it. Alright, we're gonna walk into the sky. I'm gonna shield Echo, try to slow Tryndamere down, finish him off. Notice how I slowed him with my E2. Yeah, your Q, your W, and your E has a 1 and 2. So we slowed him with E2. Then we hit him with our Q. That way he couldn't dodge anything. Plus we had a red buff auto slows on him as well there, so he couldn't really get away from it. As long as you come up behind the enemies in a gank, it's really difficult for them to do anything, since Lee Sin has a guaranteed slow off his E. It's a massive circle. It's really hard for them to dodge it. They'll have to essentially flash away from it. And you can dash towards a teammate to get in there, or dash towards a ward, or dash towards one of your minions. Finishing these guys off. For your first back on Lee Sin, if you're going to be soloing the enemy jungler a lot, you're going to want to get Phage. If you can solo them regardless, you want to get Iron Spike Whip, because Iron Spike Whip gives you more damage output and better AoE clears. So against this Mord, since we've already built a lead on him and he's behind, I think we can get away with Iron Spike Whip. I think that would be the overall better choice. The only reason why I did Wolves into Gromp and segmented my jungle clear is because I wanted to back anyway, so I can go top and just start my clear over again that way. Iron Spike Whip, we'll grab this, we'll grab that, and we'll even grab a control ward. If you are going to run around with an Oracle on Lee Sin, it will generally make your ganks more consistent and you'll waste less time since you'll know if the area is warded. But it will hurt some of your outplay potential with you dashing towards to set up Rs or just to get on top of people more commonly to use your E slow. So if you are going to get oracles, I'd recommend you always keep a control word on you. That way you can still do things. Otherwise, you're going to be very sad not having a word to consistently jump to. We're level 6, only 6 minutes in. That's super early. I'll go top side. We'll get on top of him. We'll R then Q him ideally. That way we don't miss the Q. R sends him out in a linear line. We're going to walk up, try to slow him. Got him. Got our slow on him. Got a little bit of damage. Hit him with our R into Q. Your Q2 is an execute, so try to do as much damage as possible before you do your Q2. Q1 is not an execute, it's just the Q2. This may or may not be warded. I have a feeling it is. Transacting kind of weird. We need to get on top of him to get our slow. I'm gonna ignite him. I'm glad I did ignite him. We needed him to die ASAP. Because it was one of those situations where I might have been able to hold it, but I think Echo would have died. Pretty sure Mord's on his red buff, or he's on his Krugs. This stuff just kind of spawned in. Oh, he's in trouble. I'm gonna have to Q just to get to him there. Auto attack in the E2. Got him. You can use really any of your abilities as an auto attack resetter. Remember, once again, every time you use an ability, you get 2 empowered auto attacks, which restore your energy and have a bunch of extra attack speed. So try to auto attack as much as possible while weaving in abilities. A lot of people see Lee Sin do flashy maneuvers with his R and his Q, hopping around, kicking people, and they think he's a spellcaster like Zed. But, Zed or Zerath or something. But no, Lee Sin's really 70-80% of his damage comes just from his auto attacks. So you gotta get comfortable autoing and still pressing your abilities constantly without canceling the auto itself. Because you can easily cancel an auto if it's not already like 80% of the way finished and you go into input an ability, you can accidentally cancel it. Gonna go ahead and max our E second, and we'll probably go for Herald. Mord's gonna get his blue buff by now. I should have pushed for his blue side. That would have been a really high reward play. The only potential downside is Shen could have ulted for it, which I would then have to escape with a pink ward, but I think that would be worth it. Putting Shen R on cooldown just for me blowing a pink is solid. Every single auto attack is empowered. Outrageous. Having 40% bonus attack speed. Very balanced. There's Mord, he's mid. He's already taken his blue. I'll go ahead and start on Herald. Drop the shield on ourselves, get that attack speed. You can mix in your Iron Spike Whip a lot of times when you go to do your E or just in between autos. It's a nice little bit of damage. Do remember that if they are starting to fold out of your attack range and they're almost dead, your E and Iron Spike Whip do have more range than your auto attacks do. So if you're managing your damage output per time compared to them moving away from you, it's a really important thing to take into account. Don't know if this is worded. We're about to find out. Trinimir's full rage. He might want to fight this. I should have walked up to him first for the slow. That would have made this so much easier. Yeah, that's unfortunate. That's what happens. If you throw out a rock Q, there's a high chance you're going to miss. We want to lay Herald before 14-minute mark here. That way we can get some plates. Bot lane, this is perfect. He has 4 plates mid. Herald only scrapes 2 plates in a sliver. So this is perfect. We can get something here. This would finish it by itself. Ooh, might have to say Ezreal. We're going to Q him, arm away, get that extra damage in. E slow into a Q, into an R. Solid combo. Or you can like E-slow auto attack, R them away, and Q them in midair while they get linearly pushed away. That works too. Ooh, Thresh kind of hurts. Thresh is hurting me a bit. Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, he kind of spazzed out there. I don't have Gore Drinker, so this is like really bad. He honestly has almost as much items as I do, and I got pelted with his Ignite. If my R was up, I'd just smack him with R. QRQ Ignite. Got full Gore Drinker for your boots on Lee Sin. You're only gonna go Plated or Lucidities. Mark Treads are usually kind of poop unless they're ridiculously AP heavy. Their team's definitely 80 heavy. I don't mind going for Plated. Lee Sin is best played as a bruiser. Take up space, you'll absolutely dominate the early mid, and even in the late game you can get by because you're tanky. If you're going Assassin Lee Sin with weird items like Eclipse and Youmu's, it's super inefficient and gold inefficient. On top of that, it doesn't really take advantage of Lee Sin's passive. Like, Lee Sin's massive attack speed passive doesn't really benefit that much from that type of play style. It plays better with Conqueror for that reason. You can stack it up really fast and punch him to death. Got a big fight going on top side. I'm gonna head up there. Irelia is not fed. She does have plated still caps. She died kind of fast. Got you, bud. Baited him out there. I got my Conqueror fully stacked. Got my slow on him. He's lined himself up against the wall. Auto attack Gore Drinker, moving between every auto. Red smite him, hit him with E. Auto attack E, auto attack W, auto attack Q, auto attack. Nice. Oh, come on, baby. Ooh, give me that. Give me that sweet fruit. I want this so bad. Oh, yeah, let's go. A big reason why low elo players should generally stay away from Lee Sin is because they have the wrong impression of what he's supposed to do. Kind of like with diets, you know, you see a lot of people go on diets, whether it's your mom or your uncle or whoever. They're a little overweight, starting to pack them pounds. They go on a diet, they lose 20 pounds. They get off the diet, they gain the 20 pounds. People have a very fantasized expectation of what Lee Sin is. They want it to just be, wow, look at that huge montage play I made. When in reality, if those are the plays you go in for every single time, it's actually very hard to win games. Lee Sin is a very straightforward champion. He does have that option to make a flashy play, but you should think of it kind of as a last resort rather than like, oh, I need to do this, because it's basically high risk because you're risking burning a lot of resources for a play that might not pan out. Very high risk. And there's other plays that are very low risk and still high reward that you should be looking for instead, to where it kind of skews your view. I would just focus on the fundamentals, land slow into R or slow into Q. Try to weave in lots of autos. But that being said, the most useful flashing mechanic Lee Sin has, that's very easy to pull off, is if you're dashing to something with your Q, in midair you can dash to a teammate instead and bait something out of the enemies. That's one of the best, and it's pretty easy to do. Outside of that, I would say the second most useful one is if you took flash, you can buffer your R. Like, I could R an enemy and then flash behind them, and then they have no time to react, and then they go where I want them to go. Those are really it. That's like all of his mechanics pretty much. He's a goner. Hit him with a foot. Lee Sin's R has a lot of base damage. It's ridiculously high. I have a feeling these guys are gonna surrender. We're way too big and none of them can match me. Also, Lee Sin doesn't have any awful jungle matchups. You can really play against anything. And if you take Ignite, you can even play against Warwick, which is freaking awesome. I need to Gore Drinker here. Why am I the one tanking turret? It didn't make any of my teammates. Got him. Got that W dash into E ground pound. Missed. Very spicy. Trent's bot, he's just rage splitting right now. He knows he can't stop our team's group. We actually outranged them too. Other than the fact that we got ahead early with just a basic 5 camp clear into invade option, which hard counters full clear junglers, since most full clear junglers will finish their full clear 315 to 325. Like, that's standard, 315 to 325. Lee Sin finishes his 5th camp slightly before the 3-minute mark, so you can just walk over, kill them while they're doing their 6th camp. And that gave us a huge lead. But even with that being said, even if I didn't carry this game, I think we would have won just because of our comp. We completely outranged them with the Lux Ezreal. Dash away. If you're going to go balls deep like I just did, make sure you have a way to get out. Gonna arm away. Q2 into him. Gore Drinker him. Shield myself. And Jin killed me. That's actually not worth. I gave a bunch of shutdown to Jin there. He got 1,000 gold. I'm sitting on a crap load of gold myself. You generally want to back whenever you can afford your next item, or if you can spend more than 1,300 gold, unless you have a better play to make on the map. Gore Drinker, 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗶𝗶 after Gore Drinker is super, super strong. It's easily Lee Sin's best build and highest win rate build. They stack together nicely. Gore Drinker gives you back a lot of health, and 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗃 keeps you alive so you can get another Gore Drinker rotation. After Gore Drinker 𝗕𝘂𝘀𝗀𝗃, you're usually looking for a GA, Black Cleaver, Death Stance, just like it shows here. If they have a bunch of tanky armor champions like they have, then you'd want to go Black Cleaver. If they're mostly just bursty and you're finding yourself dying way too much, then you want to go for GA. And Death Stance if you're a goofball. I don't really like this item. I don't like its clarity, and I don't like its readability or its stats. I'm just not a big fan. I usually lean more towards into Black Cleaver. I really enjoy the item. Hit him with the ground pound. After those huge throws, the enemies could definitely win this game. They got 1,000 gold off me, and then I think Lux and Ezreal died too. We're gonna have to play for Drag Soul, or at the very least end with this Herald. You don't want to be playing Lee Sin in the late game. His team fights are very inconsistent and dependent on the enemy slipping up and making mistakes rather than you doing some 500 IQ play. Like, that can happen, but it's very high risk, low reward. Well, high risk, high reward, but the risk outweighs the reward, in my opinion, or the consistency of it. Jeez, get off me. Yo, let me dash to you, brah. Holy smokes. Dude, I'm dying over here. The allergies are getting me. Sorry for the audio, guys. I'm choking on spaghetti long stream of allergen fluids. I'm gonna drop my ignite on him. He's dead. Tanking like crazy, and we should be able to end here. Usually going for double heralds is your best option on Lee Sin. If you don't think your team's going to group on heralds, then definitely just go for dragons. Lee Sin in the late game, if you have Dragon Soul, you're still going to win the majority of those games, even if Lee Sin's late game's kind of poop. If you want to play an 80 jungler who has a much stronger late game than Lee Sin, I would recommend Kayn. Kayn's late game is significantly better. I almost got that turret. Gonna kick him away. What is he gonna do about it? Got him. Whittled him down. Got him my E-slow. Weaved into autos. He almost died. I think that's solid. We can end it from here. Keep up the attack speed flow. Need the team to try to end as well, though. The Shen's just baiting for his team. Should be able to whittle this down. And that should be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this Lee Sin Jungle commentary guide for season 12. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. My name is KingStix. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. In terms of damage dealt to enemy champions, we have the second highest in the game. Ezreal had a lot more than us with a lot of poke damage consistently through lane. Looking at damage taken, we've taken the most on our team, nearly the most in the game. I'm happy with that. For runes, Conqueror healed us for 513. It doesn't tell you how much damage it added though. Triumph gave us back over 2,000 health. It gave us 440 gold. We finished Alacrity pre 12-minute mark. That's very solid. Last stand, it did 500 damage. Got magical footwear by the 8-minute mark. All in all, Lee Sin is a great jungler. Just make sure you don't get lost in the sauce and you focus on the fundamentals.